nothing appears to concentrate the mind like a hanging, as they say. So will the Swiss bank turn over the names or buy its way out of it? Bryan Skarlatos, a partner at the law firm of Kostelanetz Fink, represents hundreds of UBS clients who are taking advantage of an IRS offer to voluntarily turn over their account details. He joins me in the studio this morning. Bryan, welcome. I want to ask you about that in a moment. But first, we heard a lot of talk last week that neither side wanted to settle. Now they're in settlement talks. Who blinked?
Well, I think both sides blinked a little bit. They both made an application for a stay of proceeding to buy more time to try to figure out what to do. You have such important interests on both sides of the equation. You've got Swiss with their Swiss bank secrecy, so important to the banks and the Swiss economy. On the other hand, you have the IRS. And that's very important to the U.S. economy, obviously.
Yeah. Well, what will they settle for? There's been talk that UBS would pay several $billion to essentially pay off the tax liabilities of any Americans who might have cheated.
Well, look, that's not going to do it because the IRS has to protect the integrity of its tax system. If they don't get some type of a resolution in this case, there are going to be other bank secrecy jurisdictions that are going to pose the same types of challenges to the tax system. So they've got to get some of the information. I think both sides are going to have to come up with a solution so both sides can declare victory.
Well, if they turn over some of the names, is there still legal jeopardy for American account holders of UBS?
Absolutely. There's a lot of legal jeopardy for American account holders. The problem is if you've got an account in an offshore bank secrecy jurisdiction that hasn't been reported, you're committing a felony at least twice a year, one with your tax return filing and another with what's called the report of foreign bank account filing. So you got to come clean and get this straightened out.
So tell me about this program that your clients are involved in. Do they get amnesty for disclosing?
You do. You do get a form of amnesty. If you come into the IRS before the IRS contacts you, you get three things. They take criminal off the table. They limit how many years they'll look back to try to collect taxes, so that's a great benefit. And they'll also limit the civil penalties that they impose. But there is a toll charge for coming in. You do have to pay the tax, the interest, and some penalty.
Now, you said that this could be a problem for the U.S. with other tax havens in the future. Does it set a precedent in tax law?
Well, it sets sort of a practical precedent that if you can put your money in an offshore bank haven jurisdiction like the Cayman Islands, Nevis, the Isle of Man, and by doing that avoid paying your taxes to the Internal Revenue Service, then I think if it works in Switzerland, there's an argument that it could work in other countries as well.
Well, UBS admitted it helped Americans evade taxes. Now, that's a crime here, but not under a current Swiss law. They're changing it. The IRS wants 52,000 names. They don't know how many of those might have evaded taxes. One could almost sympathize with UBS's legal, if not their moral, ethical position.
Well, you can sympathize with their legal position to a degree, but they did send people over to the United States to help commit crimes with U.S. taxpayers on U.S. soil. And once you do that, you submit yourself to the jurisdiction of the United States. And if you have assets here, like UBS does, then you have jeopardy.
Very quickly, 52,000 names. Does the IRS have reason to suspect that most of them cheated?
I don't think they suspect that most of them cheated. The problem is that it's the IRS who gets to determine who cheated and who didn't, not UBS or the taxpayer. So they have the right to take a look.
All right. The two sides go into court today. They will ask for the postponement. Bryan Skarlatos, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.